Today we have an event devoted to your first tech job. And we do this event and together with MeetFrank, and we have invited guys from MeetFrank, you will be able to ask them live questions and get some interesting insights and stats. So let us start. First of all, I want to say you that, hello, oh, great, we see now Anton here also. Hello, and
Hello.
welcome, welcome. Welcome. I will introduce everyone, Anton and Richard, very soon. Very soon. All right. So who we are, as you know, we are Datorium. We are community and school for youth 14 to 19. And what we do, we learn programming, coding, digital skills, and many more. So we have a great community, which is fast growing right now. And we really appreciate that our community members are doing great things, interesting things. They make teams, they make projects, they get jobs, and they learn a lot of new things. So what we do, we challenge every community member to uncover their potential because we see in you great potential. And that's why we do this kind of events like we do right now, because we want you to at least try to get your first tech job or internship, because you can fail for the first time. That's absolutely normal. But if you continue doing that, and if you do that in an efficient way, so we are sure that eventually you will get into real projects. And that's very important because just sitting and coding in front of computer, that's fine, that's fun. But when you really work with teams, in teams, on real projects, that's something different. And you will see and uncover a lot of things there. So we want you to make your own startups, your own projects. But first, at least to try and start getting into existing teams. So to do that, today I have guests. I have Anton, who is co-founder and CTO of MeetFrank. Now, who is MeetFrank or what is MeetFrank? We will listen. We will hear from him just in a couple of minutes. And we have also Richard, who is country manager at MeetFrank. So let's say hello to our guests, and we're gonna start with a question. Oh, that was last slide actually. We don't want to make it like a presentation style, so we will have some presentations from MeetFrank guys. I will not make any presentation. I'm not the main person here. We have the stars here, and let us start talking to them. Everyone are very welcome to ask any questions in live chat. Plus, as you may know, we have our Discord server, okay? And in this Discord server, we have live stream chat. You can also ask your questions here in live stream chat. But also you can use Facebook chat to ask your questions. All right, so first question should be to you audience. Do you know MeetFrank? Have you ever used MeetFrank? Could you please write it in any chat you prefer? You can write it into a Discord, or you can write it into Facebook chat. Doesn't matter. So some seconds for you to answer this question. Yes and no. Have you ever used MeetFrank? Do you know MeetFrank? So we have some answers here. I don't. So just write to any chats. I'll give you 10 more seconds. Okay, so mostly I hear that first time, hear of that. This is the first time. Some say, yes, I know. And some say, I don't know. So that is why we are here. And that is why Richard and Anton here to tell about themselves. All right, then my question to be to Anton. How did you create it? By the way, Anton is one of the co-founders of MeetFrank, and he's also CTO. That's why the question is directly to him. Anton, how did you come up with the idea to create MeetFrank, and who is Frank we should meet?
Yeah, thanks a lot. So, yeah, the idea of MeetFrank actually started quite a lot of time ago. So it was year 2000, end of 2016, where me and two other co-founders, we kind of came together and saw a pretty big blind spot on the job market, that it's fairly kind of hard for talent to move around freely and to get access to really great opportunities in the companies. So there's a bunch of great companies out there hiring, looking for people like you, and but you actually need to put in a lot of work to get all this information and to find those like really specific great matches for you that are out there. So our kind of goal was to create this mobile app where a central piece is a character called Frank. So he's your like personal career assistant who scouts all and knows all about all of the job offers currently out there, and knows which ones to pick out and to kind of present to you that, hey, those are the greatest matches available for you at the moment. And the end goal that we are after, and this is still our mission today, is to kind of bring the transparency into the job market and kind of empower the people like you to kind of get the best out of it, and make sure that your career and all of your job related life is basically progressing as well as it can be. So this is our kind of core essence in a way.
Okay, so maybe this is not very best comparison I can make, but can we say that, I don't want to like offend or something. So many people know like apps like Tinder or whatever, which match people. Can we say that the MeetFrank, simply speaking, is a matching application where you match like people with companies?
Yes, so it definitely started off around this like really simple idea. So we match you with the greatest companies that you should kind of like, and also the matching job opportunities. So we look at your skill set, we look at what you're doing, and we know what offers are out there. So we are able to kind of connect the dots and present you with the top picks. But this has evolved into much more today already over the past 3-4 years. So it's not only about the job matching anymore, but it's about building this source of information around the job market in general. So you kind of find out about the companies, you know, who are the primary actors on the job market, and plus we have added many more features into this environment as well. So you can actually go in and discuss with other MeetFrank users, ask career advice from them, ask tips and tricks on their job search, etc. So yeah, it's like it started off with around this like really simple matching idea, but yeah, today we are kind of trying to do much more than that.
I have seen that you have done a great job. So here we have two stories. Yeah. For young people who are here, first, of course, you can get your job, match your company with this application first. And second, you see here founders of this kind of apps, which are quite successful and really cool. Honestly, I have also an account there. And I liked it. I liked the interface. I liked how it worked. And that was the idea. I decided to invite MeetFrank to our community to tell more about themselves. And so maybe a question about you as a founder. So I have seen that you have done tremendous job. And I think your financing tranche, maybe I'm wrong, that was right now, it was around 2.5 million, right? Or is it more? Now maybe
that's the ballpark is correct. So it's around that. Yeah. Yeah. So it's like throughout the years, of course, one part of it that requires money is of course building out the product itself and kind of financing the development, but also like we also need to be in the picture all the time so that the companies know about us, that the talent knows about us, so we can kind of bring those two together, because it's kind of a you have this constant chicken and leg problem. So if you don't have enough companies, then people don't find it really useful, and vice versa. So if there's not enough people, then companies kind of have a big question mark. But so it kind of that's the main part where the money is actually spent, so to build up this like really lively marketplace.
So that means that developing an application is not just about writing a code, but it's about also business. It's about marketing. It's about getting people know you, and that's it. And that's it actually, because, well, young people usually think that it's only about coding or around coding, but actually there are a lot of things happening there. And this is very cool. And you can see a real example that, for example, here's the startup. This guy started their idea, and now up to today, and Anton just confirmed, they have got 2.5 million financing to develop this idea further. And we see that the idea is very developing. That's very cool. So there are some questions or comments here. Yeah, this is about the last thing. Do you know MeetFrank? And this is great opportunity for you who are listening us, watching us, to ask your questions and also know more about MeetFrank and this kind of new, fresh HR style applications. So let's maybe move forward. And I will tell you that soon you will have an opportunity to ask your questions directly to Anton, because now I want to introduce another participant, Richard, who is country manager for MeetFrank. And Richard has prepared very interesting talk for us with interesting insights and stats. Right, Richard?
Well, I hope so. I hope that I can fulfill your expectancies.
We don't have any expectations. We are really appreciate. I personally and everyone I think here, we really appreciate your time, your like dedication to what you do, and that you share all these things with us. So we will be very glad to see and listen you and see some interesting facts about job market and related things. I'll let you share your screen now. You can do that. Please, let's see interesting things.
Yeah, so but basically first off, I wanted to say that it's great that we have Anton with us, because he's a very busy guy. So I'm going to go through a couple of stats and interesting experience facts, etc. And then we can return to the end where Anton will share some more insight, and we can ask questions then. But also you can write into your chats all the questions in real time, and we can get to those if Elchin will speak them out, whenever I present. So our today's topic was, basically how to get your first tech job or internship, which is the short answer would be just go ahead and do it and try it. But let's get into more detail. So first off, Anton touched it, this topic before, but in short, yes. So how does MeetFrank help find jobs? The big idea is that, first of all, on MeetFrank, you are anonymous and on your own terms. So when you are on the app, your name is not known and your position, anything is not known until you reveal it to your potential employer. Now that happens when you share your LinkedIn profile, which is actually very important. So once again, I would encourage all to always develop your LinkedIn profiles, as on top of your GitHub links and etc. for software engineers. But the main idea with MeetFrank is that you can be there on your own terms. You can explore the job market safely without even if you're a junior, you might be working somewhere and you might feel that it's just not the place for you, and you want to go somewhere and learn. So on MeetFrank, you can do that and basically stay safe. So this is how it looks from the inside. We'll show it later as well. That MeetFrank AI assistant will basically find matching offers with the keywords, with your experience, location, salary expectations, etc., and it will match you with the top job offers on the market for you. Then, of course, you'll start to answer some basic questions from the employer. Possibly send your links or CV or LinkedIn link to them, and start chatting with them, or they will actually call you, which is one of the ways they can reach out to you, which is awesome, because that means they probably are really interested in you. So I was thinking that what do you say if we go into an actual employer's profile? This is not something we do for our users usually, but let's do it today. I do have to sort of warn you that this is not the profile of any other employer, but it's MeetFrank Latvia as an employer. So in short, I just wanted to show you how it looks from the employer's view, meaning when the employer builds a job offer, they select all the keywords, they select all the internship, project, freelance type jobs, job offers. They select your location, they select your salary expectations, etc. Then once they do submit their job offer role description, then they get to one of the options which we have is the automated interview. Now, this is where you will ask for answer some questions for the potential employer and start chatting with them. It's very important, and there will also be a message that will be delivered to your phone, which is the first time you will actually see the job offer. It's very important that you, if an employer actually speaks to you or chats with you, it's very important that you respond right away, because that means you're both online, you're both speaking to each other. Time is of an essence. Now, this is very similar to how it will look when you will jump in the employer's sort of archive or application. I hope we're not, disturbing any GDPR, because we don't see the last names of these people. But I hope that this is enough to show how it will look. Basically, they will see your name. They will be able to view your LinkedIn profile. They will be able to see the skills that you've specifically ticked or selected, and your seniority level and your salary expectations. And the same way your location and etc. Now, getting back to this awesome presentation, which I'm not sure why did it jump forward, but our next slide. Yeah, sure.
Richard, I just wanted to make a note. So this is not like old style fashion. Send your CV to us by email, and then you wait for 1 week, 10 days, maybe a month, maybe someone will contact you. So this is more like, let's say more, I don't know, intimate contact you make with the employer, right?
So in MeetFrank's case, and I think Anton can back me up with this, that the main idea was, yes, to make it fast, quick, okay, for the employer to reach you and for you to talk back. Meaning, once again, there's an option where if you apply for a position, you don't have to disclose your identity, even to the very end. Oh. When the employer asks for your LinkedIn profile, your phone number, email, or whatever, you can honestly tell them that, hey, I'm sorry, I don't feel comfortable right now to do that, but can we please chat? I would like to find out about this and this and this. So in that case, you still remain anonymous. You're talking to your potential employer, and basically you have nothing to lose, even if you're working somewhere already.
Oh, yeah, that's much different from what we have seen.
Yeah, one-on-one MeetFrank has no analogs in the world, but of course, job marketplaces all over the place. But we try to make the product very satisfying to the job seeker.
Cool.
So yeah, the next slide, which we have got some very fresh data, which actually a lot of people have not seen. So you would be the first ones. Now the hours spent distribution on MeetFrank app would be, as you can see here, would be our most popular sort of periods would be Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And of course Mondays, which is very contrary. If we look from the HR department side, usually what happens is that on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, people on any other classified or job marketplaces, they apply to the job Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and then on Monday, the HR personnel has a big pile of CVs and applications. But in our case, our most popular times for job application actually is Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Mondays, which is a very big difference. And that's why HRs like us very much as well, where they can, relatively fast respond and converse with the candidates. Now, the second option, sort of statistic that we can see is the registration time, which differs slightly. As you can see, the most active time for a new MeetFrank profile registration is Saturdays. That's the top day. But as we see from this data, and we will get, I'll show you later, is that it's not the same exact moment when you will be applying for a job when you actually register your profile. Because first of all, it's going to take a couple of minutes for the AI assistant to generate some offers for you. And second of all, you're going to want to explore. There's a lot to explore as a candidate. There are a lot of groups, a lot of interest groups, which Anton mentioned. You can get a lot of help there, and it's a big community. So yeah, once again.
Richard, does that mean that? So let's say practical, well, let's not say that advice, but insight. So typically, does that mean that it's quite okay to make your profile registration on Saturday and you think a little bit and your AI thinks a little bit, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, apply for a job so that HR gets to you? So don't do that, let's say, on Saturday, Sunday applications. Is that
exactly? Because HR is never usually is not going to be online on Saturdays and Sundays, and probably even Friday, second part of the Friday. So my advice, of course, would be to do that on Mondays till Thursdays, because that's when you actually can get to the employer or the employer's representative.
Excellent insight.
That's that. Now, I'm not sure how much we can wait, but in the chat, if you could post your answers to this question. So what do you think is the average salary for entries and juniors globally?
This is in IT, right? Tech and IT, or just average?
This unfortunately would be all industries.
Okay.
But it's still a good insight because, yeah.
So those who are watching us, listening us, please make your guesses into the chat. Doesn't matter to Discord or to Facebook, just make your estimate.
There are not going to be any prizes for this if you guess it, unfortunately. But I hope that the prize for today are going to be the insights on how to actually find your job or how to show yourself better to the employer.
So if you write in Discord, I will see that. So I see here 2.54 thousand. Okay, that's cool. 700, 600, 750 dash 1,500, 2.5. Well, okay. So some say that they have heard from me that entry jobs can be around 900 to 1,000. Okay, 1,000, 100. So we see that approximately, let's say 700 to 1,000, 1,500. This is the estimate right now.
That's actually very close to our data. First off, whoever said 2.5K, Anton will address it later of how the reality in the real world works, even for a very experienced guy like him, and even before he started his career. But anyway, so here's the answer. This is, first of all, taking in mind global, all industries, and converting all currencies, because we don't have only euros. You know, Poland has zlots, I think they still do, and you know, other countries have different kinds of currencies. So converting all of this, entry-level jobs on average get 850 euros, and that's gross. You always have to take that in mind. So still taxes on top of it. And junior level, 1.2K. So that's not far off. And from our data, actually, for junior level, sorry, for an entry level, that's actually a good salary when you essentially don't really have experience, and you know, the employer is somewhat risking taking you in, teaching you stuff. So yeah.
Absolutely. And can we say, Richard, that maybe you have this just general knowledge? Is it like higher in IT tech than average? Or you don't want to share this?
The honest answer is yes.
Okay.
But this is more of going with my gut feeling, you know, and dealing with everyday job postings, employers and such. I have not pulled, we have not pulled the data together for this, but yeah, I just hope my memory doesn't fail me.
That's
but
what we see
yeah.
from statistics, let's say, at least in Latvia. We see that the IT field has quite, it's like one of the top salaries usually. That's why that was the question. But absolutely, it's clear. Thanks.
Yeah, there are top 3 industries. Basically, that's IT, sales / business development, and marketing would be the top 3 industry, you know, well paid for these start level jobs. Yep.
Yeah, no more finance. Whew. I have worked 20 years in finance.
That's good. Okay, so just briefly touching on the distribution of talent levels on our platform. This data is global. Now, as you can see, I'm not sure if you can see my my cursor, yeah. So the executive level, as you can see from this purple-ish line, it's 2%. The leads are 17, seniors are 39, which is quite a bit. Mid-level is 23, juniors 11, and entry level are 8. So as you can see from our data on our platform globally, this is how the distribution works. So once again, we converting all this to job offers, it's very relevant, meaning it's about the same as the job offers fall in. Of course, there are some disbalances. Most of the time, it's about this way. Now, should have probably asked a question about this before we jumped into it, but since I've shown it already, let's jump into it. Now, we pulled data for the year 2020 for the whole year, and we pulled the data on the candidate amounts globally for one position. Now, this number, 12.95, that's within for all industries combined. So that means 12.95 candidates for one position globally, and 11.06 in software engineering specifically. Now, when we compare that, in this case, I have my example for Latvia specifically, we have 8.52 for one position globally in all industries, and for software engineering, it's 6.57. Now, the insight that we can gain here is that, let's say if you're in Latvia, or actually in almost any Baltic state, your chances of getting hired are higher than if you would be in any of these other large countries, which, you know, totally makes sense. But in this case, we can see actually how much. It's almost twice as advantageous to be in Latvia or Estonia, for example, to be in the software engineering industry. And this goes for this is average from all levels, of course, even executives, lead, seniors, juniors, but still. Yeah, so once again, a question. So what's the average salary in a startup? Now, this is not going to be a junior, not going to be an entry, but this is just an average salary for a startup. You can go with, I have two examples. One of them is for Latvia, of course, and the other one is global. For the year 2020 is what we pulled together.
Okay, here is the question, and please try to make your best guess. So just for those, for example, if you don't know what is startup, this is a company which have just started to get into the market, to develop the idea, to develop the product, and they are usually, most of them are tech companies, and they should grow fast. That's why they hire people.
If I could jump in, yeah, a startup definition, I believe, is a startup can be up to 5 years old, meaning it's not going to be an established company already. Most of the time, people are very entrepreneurial, very focused, very ready to hustle and grind. So in this case, they value and they select and grow very close teams. So it's a very different company than any other regular enterprises.
Yeah. So we can classify MeetFrank as a startup. What do you think? Or
yes, we still haven't reached the 5 year. We are about 3 years old, I believe.
Okay, so very good example
startup.
is MeetFrank itself. Super. We have some estimates here. Well, they're very different, actually. We have some 4K, 2K, 752,000, 1.42. They are really very different. So
okay.
you can tell your real stats.
Yeah, so the real stats are, which was very surprising because looking at the demographic stature of Latvia plus all other global countries, this data is very much different for like enterprise. Like if we combined all the companies, this would very much differ. On the number side, it would go so much lower. So my advice in this is that first off, I must start by saying and warn you all, by statistics, 80% of the startups die in the first 2 years. And unfortunately, that's a fact. But on the contrary side, what I would like to encourage you on is to get involved in these startups. First off, because they can still supply you with the salary needed, even if you grow into a senior lead or even an executive role. And second of all, it's because you can express your own ideas, grow much faster, learn a lot, make mistakes. There's a lot to gain. So yeah, returning to the numbers, for 2020 in Latvia, it was 2,775 euros, which was much higher than the average salary in any company, like meaning all companies combined. And globally, it was right around 4,000 euros. But of course, we have countries on there like Germany and Finland, which salaries are much higher than the Baltic states, for example. Okay. I am not sure what the next slide is because I have forgotten. However, okay, I remembered. So what do you think, how many percentage-wise internships are there on MeetFrank if we compare them against all the other job offers? Would you say that's 30%? Probably some pranksters are going to say it's 80%, but let's see if you can put it in the chat just for a couple of seconds so that I can go to the next slide. Elchin, you're muted.
Yeah, and I'll unmute. So please, everyone, the question is, what is the percentage of internships out of all positions, your estimate? So we have here some 15%. Then we have some 35%, 27%, and others are quite similar. So let us say some from 15 to 30 on average.
Okay, let's not jump into it because most of them probably are wrong. But anyway, so the real number is that internships make up. We put less than 10%, but in reality, it's more like 7%. So it could be less than 8 or less than 7. So you have to always understand that internships are not going to be the main focus of the company, because usually it does involve quite a bit of involvement from their side, investment, resource, time-wise, and even money-wise to teach you. But still, if we consider that we have we have quite a bit of job openings. Maybe Anton can remember the number, because I can't. How many job openings we have on MeetFrank in a year? I think it was, yeah.
You mean live at the moment?
No,
or,
just in a year or live at the moment, whichever you know.
Yeah, well, live is actually a couple of thousand, but in a year, I need to look it up. I can't see that right away.
Yeah, me too. I don't. We had that data somewhere, but I can't remember. You know, it was quite a bit.
I'll come back with the number in 2 minutes.
Okay, let's do so. So if we get, you know, even if it's 8% out of, you know, it's going to be a couple of thousand, that means you still have a very good chance to basically get into an intuitive new platform and get hired. So it's still a good percent. Now, I must say that we only added this option about 8 or 9 months ago on MeetFrank. Previously, we didn't have that option for internships. So the idea that we see is that that number is going to grow. Many more companies are going to take the advantage of posting and selecting candidates for internships through MeetFrank. So once again, encouragement is to register your account.
2020, we had 7,000 to 8,000 job offers go through or openings go through the platform. It's not job offers, but openings.
Okay. All right. So if that's 8K, say 10%, that's still 800 internships, or 8%, slightly less, but yeah, that's still a good number. Yeah.
Absolutely, I agree with you. That is a good number. And what we receive to Datorium, that we are in communication with companies, and we encourage them to inform their internship positions. And what we see that from growing startup community of Baltic states, at least every year they require more and more internship places. So for those, if you don't know what is internship is when you still study, but you can get kind of a real job into the job, and they even pay you. Maybe this is not very high salary, but you start actually working with real projects in a real company with real teams. That is usually could be for summer, for example, or for some limited time. And if they like you, your age is okay, let's say you are eligible for a job contract. And if they like you, and if you like them, then you can continue. Most probably they can offer you a real entry or junior position.
Yeah. So yeah, I see that actually we're talking quite a bit, and our time is already 40 past 5. So I'll just jump through quickly some more slides. First of all, 30 internships were added some time ago from a large company, meaning if that's just one company adding 30 internships, that's a very good chance that you have a very large chance to get into it. And another point I should make is that internships are very seasonal. You should apply whenever they appear. Usually that can be in March. If you wait until May, there are some companies which will already hire maybe even lower quality intern than you possibly could be, just because of the simple fact that they applied earlier and they've already closed that spot. So don't wait, apply when it's there, explore your opportunities. Okay, jumping through the next slide. As you can see, the motivation for employees, and once again, this is all levels, is new challenges, larger salary, adjustable work hours. That's usually the top three. Now in Latvia, we have the larger salary as the top priority. In Finland, larger salary is only the third. And now the whole globalization of the job market is usually going where the job salary actually jumps slides much lower than other ones, like new challenges and adjustable work hours and opportunities to grow. So once again, the whole market is going for this, and you as an intern or an entry or junior, just please don't go for the salary. Go for something that you like, that you're passionate about, that you're interested in. It's very important because, as you can see, even more experienced people in the market are doing the same. So you're not going to miss. Very shortly about startups. I think we explained what startups are. They raised 6.5 billion euros from venture capitalists. Venture capitalists are the ones who basically invest in startups, and that's quite a bit of money. Percentage-wise, that's twice more in March than in February this year. If we take into account the pandemic situation, the investment into startups is very much growing. And as I wrote down in very large letters, every year they invest 3.5 times more. So once again, startups, the way to go. No breaks on those. Yeah, actually, my last slide. Yeah, sorry, that's the last slide. My only advice, once again, reminding you that I am not a tech person. I'm more from the business and sales and business development side. But my advice from my standpoint is to go and make mistakes. Might sound weird, but the sooner you make mistakes, the sooner you learn. And if you chase your passion, your interests, you're not gonna, shoot and miss. If you do, you still have the chance. While you don't have responsibilities, you can switch, you can be flexible. So yeah, in short, my advice is just to go and make mistakes. So thank you for seeing my presentation, and let's jump back to Elchin and Anton.
Thank you, Richard. That was really cool. And this data, so MeetFrank, in their website, they have some data you can check out there in their website. And here, Richard also shared some insights which are not there. That's why it's very valuable, and you will be able to watch the replay. But now get back to Anton. So he was waiting. He is a very busy guy, and Richard also told me that they are all very busy. But now that's why we have to go back to Anton. And Anton, can you please share your experience? How did you start your career, like briefly? And then what kind of advices can you make for newcomers to the market, let's say job market, and young persons like we have right now here?
Yep. Well, I actually read a quote in the internet the other day, like someone quoted on Twitter that if you're kind of working somewhere, then one of the two goals should be accomplished. So you should either be learning something constantly, or you should get paid really well. Like ideally it's both, but kind of let's be realistic. It's kind of when you're at the start of your career, and especially start of your software engineering career, then learning is like 10 times more important, because it's like a heavily knowledge intensive business and the field where you kind of first of all, the software engineering field is evolving constantly on a daily basis. Plus, like you need quite a lot of practice to get your skills to the level where you can go out there and actually ask for the top salaries that you hear about in different kind of news and such. So that in Silicon Valley they are paying like more than 100 or 200K per year for top engineers and such. But in order to reach this goal, you actually need to kind of get your skills to the top level. So if I would be starting today, from day zero, then the main principles I would have in my mindset would be find a job where you can just learn a lot, where there is a really great team already involved. There is a lot of senior people that can actually kind of help you out when you get stuck solving any problems or kind of doing your programming tasks or whatever tasks you're working on. And then this is the environment where you actually want to be at the start, because this is where you actually get the most out of the time that you put in. So money can only buy you like a limited set of things, but the knowledge is the thing that actually builds like a really strong foundation and builds you. Is the biggest thing that biggest investment that is going to give you returns over the long term. So yeah, always prefer learning, definitely, and places where you can learn. And Richard did mention that startups are a really great place. I would actually challenge this idea a little bit. So startups, they are really like fast moving and really edgy places where you can actually learn quite a lot. But there are quite a lot of kind of problems going on a lot of the time, and the resources are quite scarce. So for example, if I take MeetFrank as an example, then our development team is in total 6 people at the moment, and everyone's hands are quite full. So if we would have someone junior or an intern on the team, then I think it would be a little bit hard for us to help him out like on a daily basis to constantly provide the support that they would require on their daily work. So the most sweet spot teams where you can actually learn a lot are a little bit bigger companies where they have already like a bigger established IT and software engineering teams. You might want to look at bigger development houses who have many different projects going on, who have teams which are a little bit more balanced. So there is usually like a project manager plus multiple seniors, and there's already like mentoring capability inside the team. So also, as Richard mentioned, there was one company who added 30 internships. This was a really good example of a really like a bit more established company. So if I'm not mistaken, this was a company from Tartu, Playtech. So they're a real like a if I'm not mistaken, then they are already like a unicorn company. So they have hundreds of people working for them, big development teams, and lots of resources, and like perfect place for internships and younger folks to kind of learn and get their feet wet. So yeah, those are the main considerations I would look for. My first job in the IT field was actually an internship, and the company was called Fujitsu Services. So it's a development house in Tallinn, and it was back in 2006, and they were doing larger scale projects for governmental organizations and like bigger companies. So it was like not as fast moving as a startup, but at the same time I really had the time to kind of learn and take time with my tasks. There wasn't this like burning fire constantly that okay, tomorrow tomorrow or week after the world is going to end, and the deadline was always yesterday. So so this kind of gave me a little bit more time to figure out how things should work and what's the best solution in the tasks at hand. So, but again, I know a couple of startups who are already in a bit of a scale up phase, and they also accept internships, and so this might also be like really interesting as an environment, because usually startups are the ones who started their development not so long ago, so all the technologies are new, all the kind of tips and tricks and everything that they are kind of working on, this is usually quite cutting edge. So like joining a startup gives you an opportunity to be a little bit ahead of the curve, so to speak. So this is again like something to consider.
Super.
Yep.
Very valuable insights, and I'm sure that that will help young people reconsider maybe some I don't know, let us call them myths that are there in the job market. Where should you go? And this is really very good insight. Thank you, Anton, for sharing them. And maybe let's continue maybe with questions. Here we have first question: how did you get from idea to an actual product? So I think this is about MeetFrank in this case. And before please answering, I'll tell everyone, please write down your questions to Anton, to Richard, and we'll try to answer them. So the first question is, how did you get from idea to an actual product?
Yep. So it kind of evolved. So at the end of 2016, we started playing around with the idea with one of the co-founders, Karel. So it kind of first started with the basic mock-ups. We took a big whiteboard and started drawing out what the product could be, what are the flows, what is the first screen that the user might see when they enter that, what is the information that we want to ask the user actually, and to kind of build out their skills profile and those things. So it took quite a lot of time before we actually started coding the first line. So first you want to actually play around with the idea and mock it out. So take your time, be patient until you're actually confident that okay, this is a pretty good solid starting point for the MVP. That MVP means like the minimum viable product, the minimum feature set that you think that you need to build in order for this product to be valuable to someone. So so yeah, take your time to design it and flesh out the initial idea. And yeah, so I was the first founding engineer. So I was the one also coding the first version of the app, and it took around half a year actually to build it out. I wasn't doing it like full time at first, but at some point I realized that okay, I actually need to quit my job to put the full energy into this project in order for it to kind of actually be built. But the initial system, maybe I could have done it a bit faster, but the initial system actually did have quite a lot of parts in it that needed to be fleshed out. So Richard did show the site that the employers see. Then there was the mobile app that the talent is using, but that's not the only thing. So you need the matching algorithm in the back end. You need to kind of have at least some sort of a simple interface for administering the whole system for ourselves and so on. So it actually took a bit time, and not all the features and not all the code that we wrote was perfect on the day one. So you actually need to kind of redo throughout the whole working process. so yeah.
Very comprehensive answer. Super. The next question is, it's a more technical question, like how old should we be to make an account in MeetFrank? So what is the age limit, I think? How young, actually?
As soon as you can legally work, I suppose. Like we haven't set any limits age-wise. So yeah.
Because some internship positions actually are starting even from 14 years old. As we know, definitely big companies they get. So that means you don't have any age limit. That means
so
people can
yeah, I don't know if there is like some legalities around how young person can be officially hired. This is something that I cannot answer. I don't know how it is in Latvia, but yeah, maybe in internships it's a bit more looser, so you can actually have an internship, like 14-year-old working at an internship at a company for 3 months during the summer. But I'm not going to give a full answer on the legality part, but kind of to give a little bit of a enthusiastic note. So I know quite several programmers, like really great programmers, who actually started coding around 12 or 13 or 14, and like by the time this one guy was 19 and he applied to MeetFrank, he also showed me the projects that he had built when he was younger. So I was quite amazed. So I think that the age is not the defining factor always. So there is a lot like there's a lot of talent in quite young people.
Cool. We also believe in these ideas, and we really encourage everyone to not think that, hey, it's too young, I have to finish school, I have to finish university. No, try to apply. At least you will get some experience. So the next question is, I have seen on MeetFrank website a score for how easy it is to get a job. What that score is based on?
So this is the index that we calculate based on like historic trends, how many job openings we have, like how many job openings there are on the platform, how many people are applying, like week over week or month over month, and we just calculate the score based on that. So it's if there's less job openings and lots of people applying, then the index is going up, meaning that it's I don't remember if it's up or down, which way it goes, but it basically goes in the direction that it's harder to find the job. And if there's not too many applicants and more job offers currently on the platform, then we mark it with the index that it's good time to apply, because you don't have too many competition.
Okay.
So that's the index.
Cool. The next question is about experience. So how, Renate asks, how experienced do you have to be to get an internship? Is it possible to get it if you have been coding for 4 months?
Good question. So yeah, it's a great question. I would say that the internships are actually meant for kind of having this initial practice. So 4 months, if you feel that you're already capable of kind of doing some basic programming, getting your kind of some tasks done, or kind of coding some parts of the whatever functionality, simpler functionality, then yeah, it's about how confident you feel about being able to actually code. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Some people actually like internships. Mostly, like historically, are usually part of like a university or like some sort of school assignment that you go through the school, the theoretical part, and then there's practice, like a 2-month or 3-month practice at some company. Of course, internships have evolved into a bit much more of that. So different like coding schools and people apply also for internships. But yeah, I would like 4 months could easily give you the experience needed if you're like really at it.
Okay, thank you. And I can add on top of that from my idea just that if I absolutely agree with Anton. If you feel confident and don't underestimate yourself, like internship is for actually learning, as Anton mentioned. So don't underestimate yourself that you have to know a lot. No, actually companies look for those who want to learn a lot, maybe not know already a lot, but who their eyes are looking for new, information, knowledge, and skills. So that should also motivate you. Another question is, so Freezy, well, I tell because we have a lot of questions in Discord, not in Facebook right now, and I call them with their nicknames, Freezy Error. And there is 2 questions from him about how many internships are in MeetFrank per year. I think we had this answer, and it was around 800 approximately, right? If I'm not mistaken. So we have already answered this question. I think Richard told the stats. And the second question is, how often do people actually get a job when applying in MeetFrank? Interesting question.
It's a really interesting question. If I would need to say an exact number or a metric, then I can't tell you really good number on that. So how often? How would you measure? Like, is it so?
Maybe you have some stats.
Depends how often you apply, I suppose. It does depend on that as well, but so yeah, it's a little bit hard for us to actually pinpoint an exact number how often people get the job, because the application and the candidacy happens outside of MeetFrank. So on MeetFrank, you download the app, you find a great company, great job, and you apply there. But that's not the end, actually. What happens further is you meet up with the recruiter, have a phone call, have a Zoom call, do a round of interviews, or go through their recruitment process, and then either you land the job or not. And that's how it happens. So in our case, it's we don't have an exact number. We can only estimate what's the like more or less the amount, but it's really hard to say an exact number. What's the percentage that people end up in this concrete position? Because it's also like we have one position. Let's say we have one open position, then there might be several people who apply through MeetFrank. So probably one of them gets the job, or yeah.
Super. So let's repeat your answer, that the more you apply, as Anton told, the more the chance you will get actually the position. So, okay, we have another question, also a bit technical, about your stack. What is the tech stack being used in MeetFrank?
So yeah, we use this great language called JavaScript. So we on the front end side, we are using React. Then on the back end, we're using Node.js, and we used to use vanilla JavaScript on both sides, but as the time progressed, we learned that it's much
Richard, something happened? We cannot hear you. You are muted.
Oh, sorry, can you hear me now? Something definitely happened. I'm not sure what exactly, since me and Anton are in different countries, but
okay,
but
maybe that's a technical thing like internet connection, and we are waiting for Anton to rejoin. Maybe we can continue with questions.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe
If there are any I can address. Yep.
Okay,
sure.
so just to recap, because something happened technically and we're now back. As you can see, technology is not perfect. We always have this kind of things to handle, to deal with. And now imagine how many of them companies have. So talking about the tech stack, so JavaScript, Node.js, and React right now. So the next question is, Rainy Boy asks, how much experience is actually expected to get junior job? I think Anton already covered this, but the second part of your question is, how important is university degree? Do you have any stats
I
on that?
I would actually answer that, but actually since Anton is back, he
Yeah,
will
he's
it's
back.
much better to hear it from him, actually. So yeah, go ahead, Anton.
So I think I cut off, but I think the question was how important is a university degree in the IT field or as a programmer or a software engineer?
Before you go, I can quickly show, I'll just say the data, that basically we had the vote scheme where essentially important to have a formal education was by Stack Overflow provided this data. It was only 9.4% of the employers which said that. So just a small, Anton, go ahead.
Yep. So from our own example, actually, from 6 engineers that we have working on our team, 2 of them have formal like software engineering university degrees. So rest of them have learned themselves. And although I have also like a software engineering not a degree, but education part, I can also say that like 98% of the learning you do on when you practice. So it's Richard's point that he brought out that only 9.8% of employers see university degree as important is quite accurate, I would say. So it's more about skills and kind of experience.
Cool. Another question is, while being at university, is it a good opportunity to apply for part-time job offers? So speaking from experience, if you had any. So university, parallel, part-time job. Is that a good idea?
If it definitely, if it fits your kind of field that you're studying. So then especially, I think this is a really great way to kind of strengthen your foundation of knowledge. So you learn something in the university, you can maybe already get an idea about how it could be applied and vice versa. So whatever you do at the job, whatever practical things that you practical problems that you're solving at the job, you can already get a little bit different angle or a picture when you're doing your university studies. So from my side, it's a thumbs up.
Okay. So you have heard the answer, thumbs up. And actually, we also in Datorium encourage everyone, if you have studies, parallelly get into real projects. So get part-time jobs, and that will give you a lot of value, actually. And absolutely agree with Anton also. And here we have another question. From Anse, she asks, but how do you measure the success of the application if you do not have stats on how many people have actually gotten the job via MeetFrank? So do you track this? If you need, I can repeat the question.
Yeah. So we measure it from the other side. We know if the companies keep coming back, it means that we are delivering them good people. So that's our measure of success. We also have a feedback opportunity from the company side. If they kind of want to disclose, then they can mark down that this opening was filled through MeetFrank. So that's the way that we are kind of measuring the satisfaction of the matches that are happening in the platform.
Quite smart. And one more question from the GAC. What is the MeetFrank company culture like? From Anton's background, it looks like they have a really nice office.
Yeah, that's a new office. Actually, we just moved in here last week. It's
super timing for us to have a chat.
Sorry? Yeah.
It's super timing for us to have a chat here and see your office. New office.
Yeah, it's the first webinar I'm doing from here. So,
oh.
But
Anton, do you think we can disclose who was in that office before?
Oh yeah, actually, yeah. It was the office of David Hindrikus, who is founder of TransferWise.
Oh.
So he, it was his like a side company office, and they grew out of it. So they needed to move into another spot. So this office has a really good aura, let's say so. But yeah, company culture-wise, to get back to the original question, I would like sum it up with just like hardworking and mission focused. So the main thing that brings people back into every day in the morning to kind of put in all the effort is the fact that our mission is to kind of make the job market as efficient and as good place as possible. So
cool.
That's the main culture driver, I would say.
So now you guys can actually very soon we will start. So we'll get some couple of questions more because we're approaching to our time limit, and then we'll fast do some profiles for you. So Richard will help you, guide you fast to make your profiles here in MeetFrank, and maybe you can apply to MeetFrank also, or maybe MeetFrank will hunt you after some time. We don't know, right? No one knows. What can happen when you have profile and looking for interesting opportunities. Here is the question about, do I need profile picture in MeetFrank account? I think that was answered, right? That you can be anonymous, like.
You don't need a picture. We don't have actually a possibility to add a picture even. So.
Oh.
Yeah, you have a picture in your LinkedIn, and if once you kind of share that after you apply, then you've shared it. But yeah, we don't like
okay.
Skills are more important
than your picture.
That's the thing. That's the thing that we're building upon.
Another question: how many girls you have working in your MeetFrank team? Angela asks. If you know, if you want to disclose or know them.
So we had 4, but one of them went on to maternity leave. Okay. No, 5. Sorry, 5, and now it's 4 because yeah, we have Minna working in Finland as well. So yeah, it's 4 girls in total, and the team in total is 21 people.
Okay. So we are still, so what we also do, we have very good friends here in Riga called Riga Tech Girls, and they are empowering girls and women to get into tech. And this is really interesting and cool. You see, so you have a lot of opportunities to increase these numbers. So girls, apply also. Okay, so I think this is all about questions. Anton and Richard, thank you very much for answering those questions. We can use some 10 minutes, what we have still left, and maybe Richard or Anton, who will help, who will guide. Maybe you can guide those who are listening us and watching us. They can make their profiles in your app and try your application actually.
I think Anton, I can show them how to do it. So
Okay,
let me.
this is the hands-on practical part of the session.
Yep. Let me share my screen and let me know once you see it.
Yes, we see that.
Okay, perfect. So this, of course, is an open web page, but this is how you would see in your phone. So basically, once you download your app, you open it, this is what you would see. It says, "Hi, I'm Frank. I'd like to become your secret AI buddy. Let's get to know each other. What's your name?" So for this purpose, let's call it Datorium test.
Okay.
Now, once you press start, it's going to ask you a couple of questions. It will take around 90 seconds. So the registration is really quick. Which city are you located in? Let's put in Riga, for example, Latvia. So what is your specialty? In this case, you just scroll down and choose whatever feels closest to your heart and your expertise. In the IT industry, there are multiple which can overlap. So in a way, you can also be administration. You can also, of course, be a C and top level management. You can be into IT customer support. You can be into data analytics, design, engineering. Engineering wise, it's more of like hardware engineering or anything like that. But as you can see, many of them overlap. IT and sysadmin is one of them. But if you're a developer, most of the times it's going to be software engineering. So let's go with that. Then the next question would be, tell me your superpowers. If Elchin, you have any suggestions, you can tell them out loud, but let's go. I would go with, let's say you're really into front end.
Yeah, let's go for front end. We can go for back end, for example.
Yeah. And one of the most important things is to always see if it says select up to 6, please do so. Meaning you can select more than one, because sometimes people forget about it and can register just only one, but that way you miss out on potential job opportunities. So once we have done that, we press continue. Which tools and languages do you use at least 10 hours a week? In this case, just for example, let's go with PHP, SQL, C++, and C. And then we go to the next question. How many years of software engineering experience do you have? We can go with less than a year, which in this case would be, I believe that would be entry junior, I believe is more than a year, if I'm correct. But let's go with less than a year.
Yeah.
What is your current or most recent job title? Some people actually write that they're unemployed. So that's totally fine, whatever you feel comfortable with. But let's go with a junior developer. I think that's still fine. Or you can just write down developer.
Can we write down a freelancer, for example, these kind of things? Is that okay?
Yes, you can. So you, like I did, I just pressed the arrow back, and yeah, you can just go with freelancer. That's totally fine.
Yeah, or student, freelancer.
Yep. Then which industries are you most familiar with? Now, this is going to very much help to specific industries. As you know, if you are into fintech, like fintech companies are going to hunt you most probably more just because you have had experience with that. Travel and tourism is probably not the most popular right now, but still, you know, transport, logistics, manufacturing. And then once you open some of them, for example, transport and logistics, you can choose whether it's automotive, transport, or logistics separately. And the same goes for some other ones. If it's technology, gaming, robotics, all other ones. So once again, you select those, you press continue. How large is the company currently or most recently worked at? You can say you're self-employed. if you're freelance in this case. And you can also point out the company size, which you've worked before or working at right now. So let's go with self-employed. And what's your your gross monthly salary in euros? Now, this is an important subject because my advice would be not to underestimate yourself and not to over-exaggerate your expectations, because you're basically just going to miss out on some job opportunities. That's, it just comes brutally down to it. So whatever you feel like that you want to go for, point it down. In this case, you have to bear in mind that the companies select some sort of a range in which they look for people, how much would they like for their salary to be. Now, in this case, just try to play the average that you would be. The minimum, of course, would be there's this term, minimum social comfort level. Just go for that, whatever you feel like. So let's go with 700 in this case. And tell me what would make you want to switch jobs. Now, in this case, this was one part of what I said, what was voted in Latvia, Finland, etc. Now, of course, most of the cases people show that it's higher salary, but once again, if you're a junior and entry level person, I would say that go for your passion. Like at the very beginning, I myself am more of another industry, meaning sales and business development. But at some point, you understand that, as Anton mentioned, actually, it's very simple. Money is a resource that you can gain. Time is something you can never gain back. You can distribute it. So with that mindset, I would always go and cross and tick the things that you would personally prefer. Of course, higher salary is always nice, but always consider flexible working hours if that makes up for your convenience. Now, right now, popular in Latvia is that we have reduced taxes on shares or stocks in the company. So that's also a cool option. And stable environment, of course, growth opportunities, etc. New challenges. Now, that's it. Regarding registration, that's it. These questions are all that you need. Right now, well, this was very quick. The assistant, as you can see, is already ready for you to deliver your offers. I'm not going to open and go through them, but the idea is that if you click on this, you're going to go into selected, your specific selected offers. Yeah, and you can scroll down. There are these questions like, in data and analytics jobs in Estonia, there's this group. Some people can ask a question, you can respond to it, you can like it, upvote it. Then you have these groups, then you have these job postings. You can scroll through all of them. You can just explore. Then you have these groups with Latvia's location or Helsinki or Lithuania, questions, etc. And the same way you navigate this, this sort of filter with job offers from here, and you can browse by groups, latest job offers, etc. So yeah, discussions recently viewed. Here's the bell notification icon, which is where you're going to get your latest notifications if you want to approach them once more. But first off, of course, you're going to get them through your phone as a notification. And last but not least, here is your profile. If you ever feel like you want to change anything, feel free to do so. And your assistant algorithm is going to change the way which job offers you get to your phone. So in short, that's it. And yeah, how can I help section is with these 3 dots. So yep, that's it.
Cool. Very cool. So I hope you guys are trying to make, because at first you told that you didn't know this applicant. That's fine, because you just start this journey most probably, and now you can make your profiles there and try different things. But from what I see, it really looks cool. Actually, it looks like a social network style application. You can have some commenting here. So it's like you can be active during even when you search for a job, right? That makes it quite interactive and interesting journey also. Cool. And my question would be, does that fetch some data also from LinkedIn, or just you have your LinkedIn like profile or link there where if they are interested, they look into your LinkedIn profile?
So once an employer is interested, yeah, you can send them your LinkedIn link.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you can. It's sort of copied into your chat environment. You are also asked if, like, hey, would you like to share your phone or and email for, you know, maybe a faster conversation if it's a phone, and you can do so. But once again, you have the opportunity not to do it. So you can always stay anonymous and just feel free to chat with the employer.
And continue working anonymous. That would be also cool. You just work and no one knows who you are. You just work, complete the tasks. That would be fun, actually. That's the next step you should consider. Next level. All right. That was very interesting talk. Thank you. Thank you, Anton. Thank you, Richard, for your time. And we really appreciate your presence. Once more, I want to stress that. So I and we, our community, Datorium community, we wish you great success with this. And what we see that this is very cool. And I think your idea should conquer the, at least planet Earth, at least because now we are also looking into Mars. So keep going. That's very cool. And really thank you for sharing your thoughts, your advices, and some insights with us. Is there anything you want to tell more?
Just a big thanks for hosting us and for inviting us.
Thank you. It was my pleasure, our pleasure to have you here. All right, then let us wrap up and finish. Thank you everyone for watching us, and you will be able also to watch the recording of this session. So see you in our next events, and we will continue the series with LinkedIn profile building. We'll tell you how to efficiently build your LinkedIn profile, and probably more serious and more guests in our events. So bye-bye and see you later. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.